Hey, welcome back to my allotment. It's going to be a bit of a quick one today. If you enjoy watching people harvest their own food, then this is the video for you, because this afternoon I'm going to be harvesting, well, what have I got? All of my garlic, and it'll be similar to last year, and I'm probably going to have to freeze them all because of the allium leaf miner. I might actually have a few broad beans to pick. I've got my first early new potatoes, and probably a few fruits as well, so we'll see as we go along. But yeah, just thought I'd bring you along for the ride today. So I've got my harvesting baskets ready. Let's go pick some food. One of the crops I've been really looking forward to harvesting are my first early new potatoes, which is what I'm going to harvest now. But most of these are all my second early and main crops. So I'm not going to be going near those today, but I've already pulled out two of the buckets that I will be cracking into today. I can't actually quite remember which variety this one is. I think I've got a good feeling it's called Nicola, and I planted these around the very beginning of May. So they've had a good 8 weeks, and they say sort of 8 to 10 weeks is when your first earlies should be ready. They're not dying back yet and they've not flowered, so there's a chance the potatoes might be quite small still, but I love them just sort of steamed, covered in butter and some fresh herb, and it's just absolutely delicious. So I'm just going to grab an empty tray, tip them out and see what we've got. So I've got just an empty black tray. That's what I'll be using to capture all of the compost that's in here that I can still use as for mulching or something like that. It is quite low in nutrients, so it might not have much goodness in it for growing again, but yeah, let's see what we've got. Oh, can't see any from the sides. Hey, here we go. Perfect little new potatoes. Let's get my little basket, shall I? So yeah, I don't think I've grown Nicola before. Usually I rely mostly on Charlotte, second early. But yeah, these are looking really quite nice. And for the pot size, I mean, this pot is just a flower bucket they use in the supermarkets, but it's probably about 10 litre, I'd say. As long as I get a nice portion. For tea, I will be happy. It's certainly kept on hold of the moisture quite well. You can see there the old seed potato. Yeah. And let's go into the second pot, why not? As I say, it is a very small container, so I'm not expecting huge harvest from these, but oh, there's the label. Was it Nicola? You know what? It's rubbed off. I can't see. Look at that. So this is just from one seed potato in each pot. I feel like there's a bit more in this one. Oh. Couple of tiddlers. There's the seed potato. You don't want to be eating that. Yeah, not bad. I'm quite happy with that. Well, they're not massive and it's not a heavy harvest, but that is absolutely perfect for me. So yeah, pretty happy with those. So as for my garlic, well, I planted this in October last year, so it's been growing all winter long and it's starting to yellow. I've got a few signs of rust on some of the leaves, and I've already harvested one or two, and I know I've got allium leaf miner, so I'm just going to dig them up and see how big they are and then start processing them at home. In the video I made last year, you'll see how I actually processed them for the freezer. If yours too also have allium leaf miner, oh, these are quite deep. But I've got 2 varieties this year, and I've probably got about maybe 40 plants altogether. And we've got Solent White and Colk White, both of which were varieties that grew really well for me last year. And this one looks to be a really good size actually. Oh yeah, definitely see the leaf miner already. So yeah, looks like I'll be freezing them again. But you know what, it worked so well for me last year. It meant I had fresh garlic throughout the year. And by fresh, obviously, I mean frozen, but it meant I didn't have to go to the supermarket, and I didn't have to peel it either because I did all that work prior. So yeah, let's harvest them all and see what sort of results we've got. I think some people haven't had a great year for garlic. I think due to the sort of dry spring we've had, and I don't know, the winter was fairly mild, so we might find a few more bulbs that haven't actually separated into cloves like monobulbs, but we shall see. It's definitely starting to get a little bit rotty though at the bottom of that stem, where the miners are starting to do all their damage. So I think I've caught it just in time. So here's my garlic harvest, and I've lost about 1/4 of them to white rot, which is quite a lot more than I've had before in previous years, and it can linger in the soil, so you shouldn't always be free from it if you grow your garlic, even if you rotate it around your plot. So yeah, I lost about 12 to white rot, but I've got about 34 really nice bulbs here, good size. Yeah, and I've got to process these now before they start to dry, because it's much easier to do it that way when they're still fresh. But yeah, otherwise I'm pretty pleased with that. That'll definitely keep me going throughout most of this year. Now that this bed is mostly empty, apart from my self-seeded cosmos that have popped up this year, and all of that clover and the nasturtiums that are just working their way over the ground, I'm actually going to be planting in some of my dahlias into this bed now, because it's where I've got room for them. I haven't got much room for anything else. And you know what, most of my crops are in the ground, and I've self-seeded loads of beetroot where I'll be harvesting lots of other things. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with what's in the ground, so I'm going to get the dahlias in here now for all that late summer colour. I had a slight catastrophe with my peas because I didn't string around the supports like I normally would do, and they were doing so well without it, and I thought, oh, perhaps they don't need it. And we must have had a windy day because it's all come tumbling down. And I don't think they're really enjoying this hot weather. There's one thing that peas don't like, and that's having hot roots or being too dry. And it's been hot and windy, and that combination is just drying them out. And they're not as happy as they could be. I mean, we've got some pods, and I thought what's going to be better than having lamb for dinner with my fresh new potatoes would be some fresh homegrown peas, but they're not quite ready yet, although this one is, so I'm going to have these. And the Kelvedon Wonder next door, oh, there might be a few on there. Let's have a look. Oh, there's a few tiny little pods here. Only enough for a little mouthful. A mouthful of peas. Anyway, let's see how they're looking. Oh, look at that. I get the feeling a lot of these aren't going to make it home. You know, it's not too late though to sow some more. So I think I might just do that. I was just walking back to the shed to pick up a bowl for my blueberries and I spotted this. Can you see it right down there? This massive random strawberry. I don't know what this plant's doing here. It's obviously, I'm going to take that now. I know it's not fully ready, but Mrs. Blackbird's going to take that if she sees it. I can ripen the rest at home. It's enormous. A normal size strawberry. Mega strawberry. I mean, look at that. What a whopper. Now, I found that these blueberries are actually some of the best blueberries that I've ever eaten. And in fairness, I haven't eaten that many blueberries. It's a fruit that I've come quite late to, shall we say. It's not one I really buy in the shops. But I gave some to my neighbour who lives below me in the block of flats. He's Canadian, where obviously in his homeland they grow in the wild. And I said, these are going to be amazing. My blueberries are so good. And he even told me afterwards, he was like, yeah, you know, blueberries, I'm sure they're all right, you know, I do like my blueberries kind of thing. And then he tried them and he was like, oh my God, like for real, they are actually really good. So yeah, I'm so impressed with them this year. It's got to be one of my favourite crops of the year, I think. I did actually feed this plant with a feed that's meant for acid-loving plants, and I think that has really helped sort of make it flower so well. So I'll definitely be doing that again next year. But I don't want to be feeding it now. You don't want to be feeding it when it's fruiting. Oh no, because that'll just change the flavour of these beautiful fruits. How about that? Look at them. All big and fat and squishy. Yum, yum, yum. And finally, I've got this big bucket. It's probably like a 40-litre bucket maybe. And I put loads of salad in it this year with the intention of taking this home and putting it outside my front door. Whoops, haven't done that, but it's growing some gorgeous salad really well. And I think I've found a new favourite way to grow my salads, because this is just so convenient. And not that I have a massive problem with slugs, but I think having that extra height off the ground would be helping if I did have a problem with slugs, but they're completely fine. And also, if I put them on ground level, what happens quite often is the pigeons like to nibble. I can see they've got to some of the chard that's in the bed behind me, but I haven't got to this because it's too high for them as well. I actually half filled this bucket with well-rotted manure, and the other half is the Dalefoot peat-free salad compost, which is mostly made out of wool. So what I found is this pot actually really holds on to the moisture and retains that moisture quite well, and it's also really easy to water. So I just stick the end of the hose without a nozzle on into the bucket, soak it thoroughly through, and then it's fine. And I'm really hoping that this is going to help prevent the salad leaves from bolting too quickly. It's about to get really hot, so that's going to put my theory to the test, so we shall see. But I'm really enjoying growing in this bucket. There we go. So there we are, my first proper big harvest of the year. We've got garlic, new potatoes, blueberries, lettuce, one broad bean, a few peas, courgettes, and my strawberries as well. So I'm dead chuffed for that. Now I've got to get home and process all this garlic. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again soon.